person that receives a spam call, should they just tell them no thanks?
Way to really understand that is to see if they're willing to talk to you in depth about that. We all love our pets and we'll pay everything for them, but you can't get insurance to cover those expenses. I ask a bunch of nosy questions, as I said, what kind of medical history you've had, whether you've had cancer. Those are the key things.
Welcome to this episode of the Real Producers Partners Podcast. I'm your host, David Owen with Changescape Web. And at Changescape Web, we assist businesses in the promotion of their services through the use of digital marketing. In each episode, we speak with a Real Producers partner to learn more about them and their business. Today, I'm joined by Robyne Martin of Martin Insurance Solutions here in St. Louis. Welcome to the podcast, Robyne.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
So as we get started with our discussion, let's let the listeners know the best way to get a hold of you if they'd like to do that.
Okay, great. My cell phone is attached to my hip. That's usually the best way to reach me. Either by phone or by text. Text is always good because I might be in a meeting and not able to immediately pick up the phone, but I will get the message by text and get back to them. My phone number is 314-229-3744. And email is always an option as well. That's rmartin, MARTIN, at chcagents.com.
Okay. All right. So, Robyne, how long have you been doing insurance?
Doing insurance off and on since my very first job out of college. I kind of took a long and winding road to get here.
All right.
Right out of college, my first job was with Allstate Insurance Company in their property and casualty division as a claims adjuster.
Okay.
That was a temporary job. Out of college, I knew I wanted to go to graduate school in business, and they require you to have 2 years of real world job history. So I went there, did that, went to graduate school. My goal was, of course, not to really go into insurance. It was really to build my own business, create my own business.
Okay.
That's why I went to graduate school at Northwestern, got my degree in marketing, finance, and strategic planning from the Kellogg School there.
So you're a wildcat.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
A proud wildcat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And from there, I wanted to go into building a business. But the first thing I did was in insurance again. I was business development manager for a small a premium finance company here in St. Louis.
All right.
My dad had gotten sick. I wanted to come back to St. Louis, and that was a great opportunity to get me back to St. Louis. And then I built the rest of my career in marketing to polish those skills. And then I said, I need to get back to doing what I wanted to do in the first place, which was run my own business. So I focused on that and went into Edward Jones, and where I did full financial planning. I was a financial advisor in the Ferguson area here in St. Louis.
Okay.
And from there, I went on to focus on the protection side rather than the mutual funds and all of that.
Okay.
So I was a captive agent for a few different insurance agencies, but I really didn't like that for a couple of reasons. One, I wasn't running it. And two, I wasn't able to serve my clients as the way that I wanted to. As a captive agent, you have a small portfolio of coverages, plans that you can provide. And oftentimes you're fitting a square peg into a round circle and just not doing the full benefit for your customer. So as an independent broker, which I've been for about the last 8 years, I can really fit a person to a T as much as possible in insurance, and allow them to get the best out of their insurance. And I am running my own business, so I get to do both things, help my clients and meet my long-term goals.
Well, it sounds to me like you learn the business from the inside, working at the companies, and then you worked in businesses when you're a financial planner. A lot of insurance people say they're financial planners. And what specifically is your product or set or portfolio today?
Great question. I focus on the life and health side of insurance. That's always been my focus professionally, particularly the health insurance side, because health insurance is really, it's essential. It's really, insurance is the gateway to maintaining your health and protecting your health. Most people can't afford medical procedures without insurance in some way. And it's very complicated and ever changing. Laws change constantly with different administrations and different philosophies, and policies change constantly as a function of that. And you need to be an expert to keep up with it all. And I have become that expert. You'll find that a lot of insurance agents do other types of life insurance and refuse to touch health insurance because it's too complicated and it changes too often, takes up too much of their time. So you really need someone that focuses in on that particular niche and knows where it is currently and where it's going in the future to help build the right plans for you.
Well, if you can predict the future, that's magic.
I can't predict the future. My crystal ball is broken.
But you can see trends and you can see how things change and may lead you to an approach that others wouldn't take.
Yes. I can look at where we are and see it looks like it's going in this direction. Now, I can only deal with the policies that are available today. And so I always ask a bunch of nosy questions of my clients so that I can really get to know what their current situation is, both financially, what they are looking for, what their philosophy is toward insurance and their health, and what their medical background or history has been. All of those things play a role in developing the right program for folks and figuring out today what the right thing to fit them is. And what I do, unlike calling a call center and just getting an insurance plan from there, I stand beside you as you use your insurance. So if you have questions, you call me. If things are changing in the marketplace and I think there might be something better for you, I'll let you know, and we can walk down this insurance pathway together to keep you in the best place possible.
Well, I think that's a great point, that your life changes and your requirements change. I'm a prime example. 3 years ago, I was running half marathons. Now I have a prosthetic and I don't run anywhere.
Oh,
I just walk.
Yeah, that is life changing, and a lot of different things happen to people. They get married, they have kids,
Yeah.
they go into Medicare, because that is an area that I do a lot of work in, which is to help educate people on Medicare and what that whole new arena is, because Medicare doesn't function like under 65 health insurance does.
Right. Right. So this is kind of an off the wall question. You get these calls, these spam calls from advisors. They want to put an advisor on the phone to talk to you about a medical plan to go with your Medicare. How do you handle those?
How do I handle spam calls?
Well, no, how should a person that receives a spam call, should they just tell them no thanks and go away?
Well, some of those calls may be legitimate insurance brokers just trying to make a living.
Right.
But the way to really understand that is to see if they're willing to talk to you in depth about that.
Okay.
My business has grown now such that it's 100% referral based. And that's really the best way to know the quality of the person that you're talking to, is to be able to talk to someone that's worked with them before. I'm now in 11 states that I have licensed in, and a lot of that has come from the growth of my business here in St. Louis. People move to other states and they say, "Robyne, I don't want to leave you. Can you get licensed in Tennessee?" And I say, "Sure, I'll be licensed in Tennessee."
Well, that's great. That's a great way to build the business, because you trust the people you associate with, and they refer you to them, to their friends, and then you don't have to have that credibility issue on the front end.
Yeah. The calls that you get, some of them may be legitimate, but I don't recommend going that direction unless you have a connection with them. Someone that has worked with them in the past, and that they are basically smart enough and knowledgeable enough in the field with a broad enough portfolio to really fit your needs.
So if someone, we talked about how to get a hold of you. If someone wants to talk to you, what kind of information will you be looking for from them?
Well, I ask a bunch of nosy questions, as I said. So I'm going to want to know their date of birth, their prescription history, what prescriptions are they on? Because that is a big piece of coverage right now, is
Right.
making sure that's affordable, and that whatever your prescriptions are on formulary at an affordable price. What kind of medical history you've had, whether you've had cancer or any other kind of conditions. Those are the key things. And then we want to make sure we're not separating you from your doctor because of networks. I want to know who all your doctors are.
Okay.
What hospitals do you like to go to? And really, I go a step further. What are they looking for in insurance? Because some people just see it as something that they want to have around for the catastrophic. They'll self-insure for their day-to-day doctor's visits, but if they really get sick, do get cancer, need to go into a hospital, that's what they want to pay for. Other people are just the opposite and want to make sure that the insurance covers their day-to-day doctor's bills and well.
So you can advise them on that based on gathering that data, and you can make a recommendation.
Absolutely. I nose around a lot, and then I go do my homework and come back with usually one or two proposals that I think will work best for them. And then we can tweak those. Very few things are set in stone. I always tell people I don't write the laws and I don't write the policies. So there's certain things I cannot change, but overall we can tweak and make it fit the best possible.
Yeah, I think health insurance for a lot of people is mysterious. It's almost like black magic.
It is, because it's complicated and it has its own language.
Yeah, that's right. What else should folks know about what you do?
Well, health insurance is one piece of life insurance. So I do focus on the life insurance piece of it. So life insurance can be used for many different purposes, not just for funding funerals, used to leave a legacy. Can be used in business as key man insurance, making sure a small business keeps going past its principles. And it can be used as a key part of your investment portfolio.
Okay.
Especially when I was working at Edward Jones, that was a part of the investment portfolio that we would work with people on. And these days, I've gotten into a new area for me, which is the college advising. So it's taking people that are looking at college in the next few years, families with high schoolers, and helping them prepare for that next step. Now, the piece that I work with people on is the funding piece, positioning assets so that they can make the best impression for the biggest award letter possible.
Okay.
I work through an organization called College Funding Solutions to do that. And College Funding Solutions, they do all the other pieces of it. They are really the most comprehensive college prep organization in the country. So they'll help not only do the test prep, but skill assessments, college selection. They'll help you build your, quote, college resume for classes that you're taking, activities that you're in, how to get from where you are to where you want to be in that whole realm. And then I take the funding piece and help families do their FAFSAs every year. That's a headache that most families don't enjoy doing.
No, and I remember that.
Yes, and they make errors, and it might be a small error or it might be a big error, but they say 75% of the FAFSAs that are turned in have errors.
Wow.
Well, we work with them and provide them basically a key to completing their FAFSAs, and then talk with them about their award letters that they get, and even appeal their award letters if that's necessary. And you can appeal them.
Okay. Wow. I wish I'd known you about 10 years ago.
Yes, it's. I hope to get to know as many people as possible in that area. I love working with high school kids and opening up their options and working with them to build their futures.
So, you've got a wide variety of offerings. How do you find prospects to talk to?
Well, as I said, it's mostly by referral. The health insurance is all by referral. With the college advising, that's a new business I'm building. I am working through the College Funding Solutions to do that. And they work with an organization called the American College Foundation. Okay. That foundation offers scholarships to incoming college freshmen, and they contact a lot of the high school guidance counselors around in the local area, and offer that scholarship. And I follow up with those high school counselors and develop leads through them.
Okay.
But anyone, whether it comes through a high school guidance counselor, or the other day I got a lead through Google that had seen my information out there. So whichever way that they come in.
So you just want people to contact you so you can begin the dialogue.
Exactly. Yeah. Because a lot of people don't realize that college is a business, and how to make the most of using that knowledge to their benefit, to run that maze.
Sure. What else should the listeners be aware of that you're doing out there?
Well, I'm doing a lot of under 65 type of health insurance as well. So really, I can take them from when they're born all the way up through Medicare, stopping at college along the way.
So do you do any seminars, any meetings online or in person?
No, I don't do any online meetings right now, but I will be starting up doing some seminars for the college funding.
All right.
In the next couple of months, I should have my first one together. It'll be at a local library or somewhere. I haven't chosen the date or the place yet, but that would be the area that I'd be doing some seminars on in the future.
So again, what else should folks know that listen?
Well, they should. I don't know what else there is.
Well, we've talked about college funding.
Yeah.
We've talked about the life insurance piece and the ways that you can use life insurance. Everybody thinks you get a death benefit and you're done.
Right. There's more to it than that.
There's more to it than that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then we've talked about this wild west of health insurance. And so from a life perspective, give an example of how people might take a different view on their life insurance. Does it depend on whether it's a term policy or whole life, or kind of what is the difference?
Well, there's a big difference between term and whole life. Term is for a specific term, and usually that is to back up a particular need. Whole life is more of an investment tool.
Okay.
And a tool to make sure that you do have coverage throughout your life, that you can't outlive. Term coverage, if you're 30 years old, you have a 30-year term. At 60, you have to buy something else, and it may not be affordable for you at that point.
Yeah.
Whole life will then cover your entire life. And it really depends on what your needs are for an individual, whether they need to back up a mortgage, make sure that happens, whether they want to leave a legacy to their family. Maybe they want to leave a charitable gift to the Humane Society or whatever their preferred charity might be.
Right.
That's an option. There are a lot of different ways tax strategies can play into using life insurance. You can overfund a universal life insurance and use it then down the line to build a business. You can take loans out from yourself and pay yourself back. Yeah, rather than a bank. All kinds of things like that. So
okay.
And on the health insurance side, there's a lot of different niches as well. There's coverage for specifically prescription drugs. There's coverage for specifically mental health needs.
Mhm.
These are niches that people don't usually think of and need to be supplemented onto your policies often. And then there's things like pet insurance. We all love our pets and we'll pay everything for them, but you
Yeah.
can't get insurance to cover those expenses. And international travel insurance as well. So I do all of that.
Wow. Wow. I didn't, the marketplace is so broad. I don't know how you stay up to date on it all.
You just keep working, and you get a lot of information from the companies themselves because they want you to know about it. So before the broadcast, we were talking about how many emails we get.
Yeah.
I get a ton of emails.
Yeah.
And a ton of trainings. I am very often on a training session multiple times a day to keep up with all the policies and the changes and the opportunities that are out there.
Well, and I would think that if someone calls you with a specific need that you don't have a knowledge on, you know where to go to get information on that.
Exactly. I have the resources behind me to learn what I need to learn to help someone.
Okay.
So I work for myself and by myself, but I have the backing of a larger organization that can give me whatever information I need to go find. I can find it.
That's great. That's great. All right. Well, we've talked for about a half hour. And I want to make sure we cover everything you want to share. So if there's anything else, if not, we'll wrap up.
No, that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
It
Well,
is.
again, why don't you give your number, the information on how people can reach you?
Okay, great. The best way to reach me is through my cell phone, 314-229-3744. You can call or text me, or you can send me an email, and that's at rmartin, MARTIN, at chcagents.com.
Okay, great. Well, Robyne, it's been so much fun to talk to you. Appreciate your time, and hopefully folks will give you a shout.
Okay, great. I'd love to hear from them.
Great.